What's going on, everybody? We'll just wait for people to get in. Let me know that you're in here. Let me see you in the chat. We got some things we got to go over tonight. Hope everybody's doing well. Just kind of waiting to see everybody that's in the chat. Let me know you're in here. Hope everybody has had a. There we go. Hope everybody's had a great Halloween weekend. Mine has been absolutely I've dealt with 4 sick kids, and if you have kids and they're all sick at the exact same time, it is an absolute mess. And I have 4 kids and they are ooh wee. They had colds this weekend and I was giving out medicine and I actually made gumbo. Macaluso, I think you might have been proud of me about that one. I made gumbo and I did the roux right, okay? Um I got the recipe from Crouch's sister and it may not have been the best to your guys' standards, but it was great. It was really good. Um and the kids absolutely loved it as well. So, what did you guys do Halloween this week? Let me know what you dressed up as if you went out on Halloween. Um, I took the kids. They weren't sick when they came down here, but it was kind of cold on Friday night when we went out trick or treating, and they had an absolute blast. And I love spending time with them, doing that kind of stuff with them. But gosh, man, that sickness. Let's just hope I don't get it. Let's just hope. If you are in here and you are new to the channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button. We do this every week at 9 p.m. Eastern. That was gumbo. I don't care. Well, then give me your recipe. Uh, but make sure you guys subscribe. We get on here at 9 p.m. Eastern every single week and we talk about the week. It's a place to hang out. I might actually have somebody that's in here that you guys have not heard from in a while. Sergeant Buck messaged me today out of the blue. So Sergeant Buck, if you are in here, it was great hearing from you. I hope the your girlfriend or wife, I'm not sure which one, um I hope she's doing better, man. We would love to hear from you. I know everybody in this chat would love to hear from you. We've talked a lot about you, believe it or not. So we'd love to hear from you. But we do have a lot to get through tonight. The interview this week with Chief Hunter, that's going to be one of the things we go over. I have a nonprofit of the week that I really want to go over. It's going to be neat just because it's close to somebody that is very close to us. And then I'm going to go over something that's kind of been bugging me this week that I want to talk to you guys about. And hopefully people hear it because it's really bugged me the last week about this. So stick around, make sure you subscribe, and let's get into it. So this week's nonprofit is from I'll just show you guys. This is Mission 11th Hour. Mission 11th Hour assists Florida citizen warriors during times of hardship by providing timely, compassionate support that migrates crises and sustains readiness. Their vision, a future where Florida citizen warriors serve with confidence, certain that they will not face crisis alone. Now, they serve the National Guard, but Helmuth's wife messaged me, and she is very close to this nonprofit organization. And she said that it didn't matter if you were National Guard or if you were active. Um, they're willing to help both. So if you are down in that Florida area and you are in need of financial support, definitely get a hold of them. And they may be able to help. And I would say just get a hold of them. It has been so good seeing her comment on a lot of the videos. And this is from the very beginning of Operation Intel Veteran Stories. It was really cool to me because when she started commenting, one of the things that stuck out to me that she said was, Helmut's kids are watching this. She's watching this. So the guys that he served with um, are telling a story that he can't tell right now. And that hit me in the heartstrings, buddy. Let me tell you, when you can do something and it makes that big of an impact on one of your buddy's families that he's passed away, um, that means a lot. And I'm just really glad she's enjoying these stories from people he deployed with. I'm glad his kids are enjoying these stories. And a special message to you guys. He was amazing. You guys had an amazing father. You had an amazing husband. He was a great guy, somebody you could count on to have your back. And you guys should be very proud of the man he was. So I hope you guys hear that. I hope you guys are tuning in. Um, that one hit home pretty hard for me. Helmuth was in the other squad, but again, when you're in those close quarters like we were, you grow to know these people. And yeah, Matt Galuso, he was one of the best NCOs I've ever served with, and the family of Helmuth needs to hear that. Um, Not that they already didn't know he was a great man, but everybody that he served with says the same thing. He was an amazing person. So a special shout out to you guys. Um, I'm glad you guys are enjoying these stories. Awesome. Um, so let's break down the interview this week before I start tearing up here. So this week I got the opportunity to interview somebody who I didn't really know that well in Iraq. That's Chief Hunter. You guys spoke so highly about him, and I had to have an interview with him. I got to see him every once in a while. Don't get me wrong. I seen him every once in a while, but I didn't know him like you guys knew him. I was interested in his story though, and he served a long time, right? It was neat getting to sit down with him and just listen. If you know anything about Chief Hunter, he is a talker, buddy. I didn't have to do much talking at all, which is great because on shows like this, I have to come up with everything I'm going to say, right? So anytime I can just sit back and listen to somebody's story, it is amazing. But You know what really stuck out to me about him is, well, 2 things really. I did not know that he was battling cancer, and he had a huge message at the very end. If you guys watch that, tell me what you guys took away from it. But the 2 things that I took away from that interview with him was, number 1, get checked early, right? And we were around some pretty nasty stuff over there, so getting checked out regularly and getting checked out early is better than waiting until something happens, or you start showing major symptoms. He's battling cancer right now, and I didn't ask what stage or how he's doing, but he said he was doing better than he was supposed to be. So I did not know that about him. So that kind of caught me off guard there for a minute. But um, the other thing was, and it's one of those things that we've talked about on this channel multiple times, is the age, right? 18, 19, 20, up to 24. You know what I mean? That's really the go-to when it goes to like your lower enlisted, like your specialist and down. And what they had to endure. We were in a hot zone where, let's be honest, it was hot. But I didn't know that coming into Iraq, he was just like us, had no clue about his background. But one thing that caught my attention was when he said we had to um, clean up the bodies. And he said that they did it the right way, the humane way. But one thing that he that stuck out to him was one of the enemies that had been deceased or was deceased, um had burns on his hand from where he had time to endure that damage to himself and light a cigarette, and passed away before he even got to finish it. But in the other hand, he had a picture of a woman and a child, which, he assumed was the wife and child of that the enemy. And it got me to thinking, how hard that had to have been, you know, with how old he was, and how stuff like that sticks with you. And it's tough. It's one of those things where you can't be prepared for it. You can't be prepared for what you have to see in a war zone. Nobody, I don't care if you're the toughest person in the world. You don't know how you're going to react to that situation until you're in that situation, and you have to see that. You have to put the puzzle together as you're looking at that body. That's something that doesn't just go away. It's not something that you just put to the back of your mind and you never remember it again. It's not like one of those the Men in Black where they shine that thing across your face and you don't remember anymore, right? Something you remember for the rest of your life, and it sticks with you. And I was having a conversation with, I forget who it was, but it was earlier this week. And the topic got brought up of age. We were young. God, were we young. But I didn't have to do that. I didn't have to dig a mass grave for the enemies. I didn't have to do that. So going into Iraq and doing stuff like that, that that's tough. That is extremely tough. Chief Hunter, now I know why these guys love you. He's an amazing guy. He was so much fun to just sit down and talk to and get to know. And I think that's it, and I've said this too. You guys love this show, which is great, but I love it just as much. Anybody would love to just sit down and have a conversation with somebody about what their experiences were in war and what they seen and how many times they were deployed. He was deployed 3 times to Iraq, all with the 1st Engineers, which, we went into the patch on our arm, right? Do you guys remember? Do you guys remember them trying to get us to take off the red one and put on the subdued one? How many of you fought that change and still wore your red one? Because I know I did. Let me know how many of you guys actually took off that red one and put on the subdued with no fight whatsoever. That was a and then when they changed it over to the I don't know what it was. I have no clue because I never wore it. I think it was called the Rising Eagle or something. I wasn't taking off that red one. And I still here's a story for you about the patch. Um I remember wearing that, what is it? And maybe you guys can help me. Yeah, nobody wanted to take off that red one. Nobody. But then I couldn't find the red one there in Iraq, so on my right arm, because we all know if you have a combat patch, you're very prideful in that combat patch. But I had that uh, pineapple with a lightning bolt going through it. 25th ID, I think it was. Um, I had that on my right arm, and I was out there by the burn barrel, and first sergeant seen that damn pineapple on my right arm, and he looked at me and he goes, "Come here. You want to wear that you want to wear that combat patch so bad. Let me give you a real one." He took the red one off of his arm and put it on my right arm. And I still to this day have the patch that First Sergeant Yoke gave me. And I won't ever lose that. I won't ever lose that because um the strawberry, yeah, buddy. It was a triple nickel patch that we changed over to and became a part of the 55th Engineer Brigade based out of Fort Lewis. See, that was the good thing about being medevac, right? I got to keep that red one on, and then being in the Warrior Transition Battalion, I never had to wear that either. So, um, yeah, I never had to do it. But I will always. Did you have to kick? Did I have to kick my own ass? No. Yeah. The only thing First Sergeant ever did to me was that. Do you guys remember on your off days when you had to do First Sergeant duty? And you had to go around picking up cigarette butts, even though I wasn't a smoker. I had to pick up cigarette butts from you nasty people, and then had to move sandbags and fill sandbags just in case of a mortar attack. Ah, yeah, you almost wanted to go out on a mission because there were times where your guys would go out You would have to be there. I think it was at 9 o'clock in the morning. You had to be report to first sergeant, and he would give you a honey to do list, right? It was the worst honey to do list ever because that man was bored. Out of his mind, he was bored. But a lot of the times he had you doing some crazy stuff. But I'll never, ever, ever lose that patch. But that I want to get back to the interview with Chief Hunter. I do now understand why you guys love him so much. Hey, he's a great guy. Great guy. Again, if you guys are in here and you guys are new, make sure you're subscribed to the channel. And the reason why I say that, we are building a community here. And this community is about real veterans, real heroes with real stories. You're going to hear stories on this channel. You're going to see videos that you have never seen before. You're going to hear about right now, you're hearing from the 72nd Engineers out of Fort Riley, Kansas, who were deployed in '06 and '07 in, I don't care what anybody says, the hottest spot in Iraq, Bakuba, Iraq. They're going to be telling you their stories. And I make it a point to ask everybody the moments there that stuck out to them. Some of the stories you're going to hear multiple times, but the cool thing about it is this. You're going to hear it from multiple different perspectives. You know, I think this channel is very unique. We're not interviewing special forces guys that get to go out on the cool missions and catch Osama bin Laden. And this channel is dedicated to the everyday soldier that had to go outside of the wire, the combat soldier that really went through shit over there. And the thought behind this is to lower that number of 22 suicides a day by veterans through conversations like this. You know, it has been very eye opening to me. Everybody has heard us talk about these group chats, and it has been amazing for me. It has. I know it has been for a lot of you guys too. But we still have work to do. And this week kind of showed that to me. Before I get into that, though, I want to wish a happy birthday to Santa Claus, right? Chris Lyon, happy birthday, brother. Don't drink too many, okay? I know those Captain and Cokes go back pretty good. But happy birthday, brother. I hope it's a good one for you. Everybody should have a good 50th birthday. I'm gonna get ripped tonight on the group call for that one. I know I am. I'm gonna get a lot of shit talking for that. But the nice thing about this is you can see me. I can't see you right now. This has been the nice thing about it though. You know, if you like I said, if you don't know what this channel is, anything in the military, you show love by talking shit to each other. I don't care who you guys are. You're an asshole. Love you, brother. Uh that's what we miss. Hey man, listen, don't you talk about my bald head. I'll take off my hat. I got a beautiful hairline. Look. It's just I didn't grow it in real well. Um anyway, we talk shit to each other, but that's how we show love. And I love every one of you guys a lot. So You know, the thing I wanted to go over with you guys this week is something that kind of bothered me this week. And I want your guys' opinion at the end of this too. But if you're watching the channel and you see these interviews and you view these as success stories, okay? That's not what these are. These are not intended for you to think that everybody on these interviews are good, they have no problems. And if you're looking in the chat, every single one of them has battled different things. The reason for this channel, again, is to communicate with one another because I believe that we can help heal each other. Yeah, the VA is great, therapists are great, but getting to sit down with a brother or sister and just talk. You can ask anybody on these interviews. It feels like a weight has been lifted up off of your shoulders. And it does that to me every week. I love Sunday nights. I love dropping these videos. I love hearing from you guys. In 2006, I was graduating high school. Let that sink in. Damn, Macaluso. Dropped the cradle, didn't you, buddy? But, you know, if you are a combat veteran and you don't want to come on the show, that listen, that's okay. I don't care about that. But don't view everybody that's on here as a success story because we all have our issues, but we're better together. That's the part of this that I think is missing. We are better when we're communicating with each other. I think it was Macaluso. Actually, it was Macaluso. He said, I've done more healing in the last 6 weeks than I have in 20 years. So if you are out there and you are a part of our group and you are watching this right now, I want to tell you something. You're not alone. I promise you, you're not. Talk to us. I myself and LT were on the phone till 3:30 in the morning this week. And Sergeant Hartman, I'm not going to leave him out because he got a lot of shit in that in that call. But we are here for you. That's what we're here for. The back of that hoodie means so much to me. Where it says we still have your six, and I truly I mean that with all my heart. We still have your six. You want to talk, you hit that call button. I promise you somebody will answer. But I don't want you to think that just because we're talking now means that everybody is healed because we're not. I've done more healing in the last 6 weeks talking to you guys than I have since Iraq. If you don't want to come on the show, that's fine. I have no problem with that. But don't think the people that are coming on the show are completely healed, that aren't having problems, because we are. But you know what makes it easier? Knowing that LT has my back. Sergeant Smith has my back. Lion has my back. Macaluso has my back. Everybody in this chat, Cahill, Chuck, Carton, Crouch, literally everybody. And it feels amazing to know that if I need something, they're one call away. I can't speak for the rest of the guys in this chat. I can't. But I went through one of the darkest times in my life 3 years ago. And am I still healed from everything that happened? Absolutely not. If you would have caught me, I don't know, a year and a half ago, I was still struggling bad. Mentally, I was. There were nights I couldn't even get up off my, or days I couldn't even get up off my couch because I had no motivation to do anything at all. You aren't alone. I'm here for you. Everybody in this chat is here for you. Even if you're not in the 72nd engineers that deployed in '06 and '07, I don't give a damn about that one bit. If you need somebody, there's about, I don't know, 35, 40 good people that have your back. So when we say we still have your six, we truly mean that. So don't think you have to be a success story to be on the show. That really bugged me this week because I thought that maybe I was portraying the show wrong. And a lot of the times I stress out about that kind of stuff because I want to help and I want you guys to know that I'm here and the reason for the channel. The reason for the channel is not to show how much success we're having. But I can tell you being a part of this group and doing what we're doing now has made me feel 1,000 times better. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no clue. You can ask LT. I had no clue what I wanted to do. Carton, Sergeant Smith, ask him. I had no clue what I wanted to do. It just so happened I have one hell of a daughter, and if you are watching, I love you, and I hope you feel better. But yeah, I hope that you guys understand that this is more for healing than anything because it's been healing to me, and I know there's about 35, 40 other people that's healed from it. And the more we do this, the more people we're going to get to, and the more veterans we're going to help. And that is the reason for this channel. And I had to remind myself of that. We love you, and anything we can do to help, even if it's just a listening ear, we're here. And I don't care if you keep me up all night. I could care less. So, sorry, I had to get that off my chest just because it really bugged me a lot. Yeah. I'm gonna read some of the comments in the chat now. I really wanted to tell people that. So if you're watching this, that message was to you. Um, we're here. So let's get to some things in the chat. Let's see here. I have a chat up on the screen and I got it on another screen. So let's see what we got here. Like I said, I hope you guys have had a good weekend. I know Halloween's a lot of fun. It really is. And I live in an older community where my kids walked out the front door and the guy across the street is a Vietnam era vet. And he's not doing real well health wise, but he is the nicest guy, and his son too. to my kids. As soon as they walked out the door, he was sitting inside and he had his window up and he said, "I got candy for you." And then the guy next to him is an army veteran. I have a lot of older people around me, and it is just it's amazing that my kids get to experience that because everybody around here loves them, right? Let's get to some of the stuff in the chat. Lion, yeah. I'm gonna tell you right now, brother, I still struggle every day. Some days more than others, but I'm gonna tell you right now, talking to my brothers is more helping than the VA ever was in my life. That's why we do this. I may not know the perfect words at every single step of the way. I might not have all the answers. And these guys may not either. But what I do have and what we have is a platform to be able to talk and let the world hear our stories because the stories of Bakuba were never told. I hear Baghdad, I hear Ramadi, I hear Fallujah. I never hear about Bakuba, Iraq, ever. And that's why we have this platform. And this is just as much your guys' as it is mine. Um, we are here to support the broken. Success is not giving up. I love that. Love you, Cahill. Speak up. And I'm not going to be able to get to everybody that just wrote stuff here. I try to watch each episode. I don't think it portrays success stories. I think it really shows more of the vulnerability that that we all still have. You're right. I would never put my ugly face on the internet if it wasn't to help. And it makes it so much easier. Ask the people that have been on the show. When you sit down to do an interview, I've told everybody it is so much easier than what you think because it's just like talking, sitting down at a bar and having a beer with a brother. It is one of the greatest feelings in the world, and I promise you, you will feel like 1,000 pounds were lifted off your shoulders. So, if you want to do an interview, I great. Get a hold of me. I am more than happy to have you on the show. And these guys want to hear your story just as bad as I do. I'm just the lucky one that gets to hear them and ask questions. Sometimes they want to do a second interview because they didn't remember everything that they wanted to say. If that doesn't tell you the amount of relief that comes off the shoulders of you after you've done one of these and after you've talked about it and after you've sat down with a brother and talked, that's how much better you feel after this. Hopefully that resonates with you guys. If you, like I said, speak up. Our community is great and it's only going to grow. It's only going to grow. There are people right now that are putting the word out about this channel that you guys don't even know. There is my best friend that I joined the military with, served with somebody that you might see in here. His name's Mikey. He lives out in Las Vegas, and maybe I said something about this last week or in the group chat, I forget, but he's made out flyers for our channel. He was deployed to Iraq. He's a big believer in this channel. And Mikey, if you're in here, thank you. I'm going to have him on the show as well because I want to hear his story. He is a great guy. I actually have, first time I met him was in New York City with my best friend. That's where he was from. And then he moved out to Las Vegas, went out to Vegas, hung out with them. They came here for my best friend's wedding. And him and his wife, my kids absolutely loved his wife and they ask about her all the time. There are people out there that are putting out this channel all over the place and those t-shirts with the QR codes on them. If you want a t-shirt, if you want a hoodie, I'm going to have more stuff out. The idea is to get this channel out to more people. Yeah, the VA doesn't even know there was a guy. Yeah, that's another thing. One thing that I took from Cahill's interview is the VA didn't even freaking believe that Warhorse was hit with a chlorine attack. So nobody knows our story better than us, and it's our job to tell it. And one of the best things that I can tell you is when you're long gone, because we all have our time, right? This life isn't forever. These interviews will always be there. My kids will always get to view these videos and get to hear my voice and get to hear me talking about you guys. That's the one huge advantage we have over generations before us. They never got to do anything like this. That's one of the cool things about this is that these interviews are always going to be there. Loved ones can hear your stories without you having to tell them because you're you're talking to a brother that was there. That viral clip from Hollywood Cahill short. Cahill was in one spot. That the gunner on that was Carton, and I heard McCoon. But I was up on the building right across from it. So you're getting different perspectives all over the place of that day that nobody else is gonna tell you. And a lot of you probably haven't talked about that day or the Sergeant Wright day. One of the best moments of this channel so far, and I'm sure it's been that way for you guys, was when Leonard came on. Everybody wanted to hear from Leonard. Um, and I actually got to have lunch with Leonard, 2 weeks ago? Because of this channel, I got to see Lieutenant Hunyon for the first time in 20 years and see Leonard for the first time in 20 years. So we're making a difference. Long Necker going down to Louisiana, hanging out with Macaluso. It's just amazing. Hollywood Cahill. If you guys have any questions for me, put them in the chat. I know we're going to have a group call after this. It's a lot of fun. I'm going to get shit from Lion because I called him Santa Claus, but, you know. Hey, Lion, you know what the cool thing about this is? That'll be there forever, too. If you have any questions, if you guys want to see something on the show, if you guys have any ideas of who you guys want to see on the show, shoot them to me. I am always up to interview just about anybody. Um, but yeah, let me know what you guys think about this week's episode. If you guys have any questions, any suggestions on what you guys would like to see, I'd love to hear from you on the show. Might not get on the group call just because it'll drive Lion insane, which is great. I aim to do that. Oh, goodness gracious. It has been a long week. It has been an absolute long week. Uh, with the kids being sick and everything, I had to I had to er, really think on the fly this week just because I was like I have the show tonight and I was looking forward to it. I just had to put everything together at once. Um it's been but it's been a good one. I think tonight I got a lot of things off of my chest that I wanted to go over just because I wanted to kind of let everybody know that these aren't success stories. People are still struggling. I'm just glad to see the channel take off. I'll be headlining movie lane. Oh gosh. You know, it it's doing really well and the more people that get their stories out there, the better this channel's going to do. I want this to be a household name. I have big plans for this. And I think we're going to do great things. I truly do. I think this is just the beginning. I don't see any channels doing what we're doing right now. I've successfully become fat. You know what? I can see I don't have a six pack anymore, but I do have the top row, right? That should count as something. That is impressive. 41 and you can see two abs. You can make fun of me all you want. Tell me how many of you guys you can see the top two abs. I know you can't see Macaluso's. That damn gumbo got to him. I know. I know for a fact. He's eating well down there. Hopefully you guys understand that we're just getting started though, right? This is just the very beginning of what I'm wanting to do with this channel. And because of you guys, this channel's where it's at because you have no idea how much help I've had with this. That's why I don't call it my channel. This is just as much your guys' as it is mine. You guys give me the ideas. Um you guys have supported me every single way, and I do appreciate it more than what you know. It was way more than the gun. You do have listen, Macaluso, you do have abs. They're just wrapped in bubble wrap. Okay, you're protecting them. I get it. I understand, brother. I understand. Listen, guys, we've almost been going for an hour now. I was trying. I think I have how to get more people on this call, which I want. We know you don't have abs, Cahill. Okay, we know, but we love you anyways. Okay. Santa. Are we talking about the actual Santa or Lion? I'm not sure which one we're talking about here. 5'8", okay? Gosh. Everybody's the same height sitting down though. See, nobody can tell how tall I am. But I think I figured out how to get everybody onto a screen. So at different points, I'm going to ask you guys to come on the show. If you want to, great. don't feel obligated to come on the Rally Point show either. It's more of a relaxed environment that we're going to be going over like the interview and what it meant to you. And this is a chance for a lot of you guys who have asked for, I'm more than willing to do a second interview, and I really appreciate that. But the Rally Point, I think, is a good opportunity for us to do that. Because so far, you know, I've heard I love the interviews. I absolutely love the interviews. And I can see it in the comments and stuff like that. But I think having you guys on and putting it on screen, really going over what you took from it and your experiences with it, I think it's going to resonate with a lot of people. So that is the first on my to-do list this week when it comes to the show. That's about all I can afford right now, Hartman. That's about all I can afford. So, is there a military discount on there that we can tack on to make it just a little bit cheaper? Anyways, guys, that's this week's show. Have an amazing week this week, guys. And if you are on this channel right now and you are in our live, come join the community. Come be a part of a community that supports each other, that cares about each other, and a community that is going to get our story out one way or another because it deserves to be heard. You have a lot of heroes in this chat, and I know we hate that word, but you have a lot of guys on here that have seen a hell of a lot of combat and have dealt with a hell of a lot. So if you are on here right now, and I can see how many are on here, and some of you aren't talking, and that is perfectly fine, just know you're welcome. So, I will talk to you guys next Sunday on the Rally Point. Like I said, make sure you hit the subscribe button, okay? It goes towards a lot. We're trying to do big things over here. Also, if you do love the merch, I think the shirts, I seen LT's shirt. I absolutely love the way it turned out. Thank you guys for the orders you guys have placed. The forest green hoodie takes a little bit longer uh, to make for some reason. Not sure why, but make sure you guys pick one of those up because it has a message that means a lot to a lot of us here in this chat. We still have your six. I love you guys. I will be on the group chat and I'll see you next week. Be looking for the interview. Tuesday is my trailer that I release, and usually at Thursday at 4 o'clock, I will release the full interview. So, again, thanks for coming on. Thanks for being here. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week.